Hello Steelers, and welcome back to another scenario of Undaunted Normandy. This is scenario 2 from the core box. This is Montmartin-et-Graignes. This is the assault on the Via Tot Canal, 15th of June 1944. We've got the Americans trying to get off the bottom of this particular map. This is a bigger map than the first scenario. Also, this scenario introduces the German machine gunners as well. And I mentioned in the review, and I think last time as well, that some of the scenarios are asymmetric and they're not perfectly balanced in forces anyway. They're balanced in gameplay but not in forces, and this is the first one, and it also just introduces that new mechanic of the machine gunner. I'm not going to talk too much again about the game. I'll just jump straight into it because I went into some detail in the first scenario game, so if you want to check that out, do. I'll put the link in the description and probably also a link up here somewhere as well, and also check out the review as well. Same again, links will be in the description. As I say, there's literally not much more for me to say at the moment apart from let's play the game and see what happens. Okay, so this is our map for this scenario, scenario 2, as I say, in the core box set. This is the Montmartin-et-Graignes. I'll just read out what it says. It says, as the 30th Infantry Division moved south of the railway, it encountered German machine gun nests in the tiny settlement of Landry. After a 45-minute battle, they cleared the area. By the end of the morning, the US forces had inched forwards another quarter mile to the outskirts of Montmartin-et-Graignes, a larger hamlet which boasted a church steeple projecting above the old mud-coloured farm buildings. After another hour of hard fighting, they were in possession of the hamlet. So what we've got in this particular scenario is we've got the machine gunners. The Americans have got their typical two squads here. So they have A and B, and they're both up here, you can see. And as we said in the last game, these have different deployment points. So A can only come in here, B can only come in here. They've scouted these areas here. Sorry, I always forget to put something down there. So they've scouted those four squares. The Germans, on the other hand, are over here. They're all based in this square down here, and so we've got the riflemen, the scouts and the gunners. We'll talk about those in a second. These all come in here at this point here. And what you can also see as well, we've got these victory tokens at the bottom. These are worth 1, 1 and 1. All the Americans have to do is capture one of these. Now you think, wow, that's pretty easy, isn't it? Well, it seems it, but there's a lot of open areas here, so these areas are pretty ripe for machine guns to spray out across them. And the way that the machine guns work, let me just show you the decks we've got here. So the Germans have got the platoon sergeant, a squad leader, a rifleman, 2 riflemen, a scout and a machine gunner. They've also got 3 fog of war cards. The machine gunner, we've already seen the scouts and what the rifleman can do. So the machine gunner is different. He's got a 1 move. He can attack 2, but he can also suppress 4 as well. So he's rolling 2 dice for his attack, which is pretty good anyway, but his suppression is 4 dice. And suppression is the same as attacking, but if you hit them, you literally flip the card, their thing, over onto the side there, so it's face down, and it means that they can't move until they play that card to basically get themselves back up again. So you're stopping them moving, and you're also wasting a card for them. In the Americans' deck, they've got their platoon sergeant, squad leader B, squad leader A, 2 riflemen from squad A, 1 scout from squad A, 2 riflemen squad B, 1 scout from squad B, and then also 2 fog of war cards. So again, I mentioned, you know, that this game is this one's slightly asymmetric in that both sides start with slightly different forces in their deck and also on the table as well. And I've actually played this scenario a couple of times. I played it against Dean, he was the Americans, and I played it solo myself, and both times the Americans failed to win. So I'm going to try my best to get these Americans won. I've not really worked out the tactics for this one yet for the Americans. It's quite relatively easy if the good cards come up for the Germans to sit here and just plug away as the Americans are trying to get their way down. As I say, some of these open areas, which is not good for them at all. So I'm playing it solo again, so I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before with the random initiative bid. I talked more about that in the previous game. Because I'm playing solo, I'm just going to pull a card for both sides. Whoever gets the highest is the winner. So let's just start. The Americans have the initiative at the start of the game. Oh, and just one thing to say, the US objective is to capture one of these points, just one objective point. The German objective is to pin the US forces. So no US riflemen on the board, so they've got to really plug away at them and do some damage. Anyway, let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3 for our first draw. 1, 2, 3 for our Germans, and their initiative card is 6, a scout against a fog of war for the Americans. So the Germans gain the initiative in the first turn. So let's have a look at what their deck is. So we have a rifleman, a squad leader and a platoon sergeant. Okay, the good thing with the Germans is this is quite coordinated because they're all from the same squad. So I'm going to use the squad leader here to bolster first of all, because I want some machine guns in. He's going to use 2 points, 2 of his bolsters to get 2 machine guns in there, because I really need those. Unfortunately the rifleman can't move, but what I could do is I could get the platoon sergeant now to command, draw 2 cards. So we've got a fog of war and we've got a fog of war, so that's pretty useless. I can't get rid of those at the moment, and that's the platoon sergeant used up, so he'll go there. So the only thing I can do really is probably take a single shot with one of my rifles here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire at the rifleman up here because we need to pin those. So rifleman B. So let's count it up. 1, 2, 3 away. 6, 10. You automatically hit if you roll a 10 anyway. So let's just see. 3. No, I didn't think it'd happen, but it's worth a try. So now it's the Americans' turn. Don't know if it's better for them to have the initiative or not in this particular scenario. As I say, I've found it difficult to get any to get further forward really. Well, you can get the scouts down here, it's just getting the riflemen to it. So we've got squad B leader, platoon sergeant and the rifleman. Okay, platoon sergeant. Well, I'm going to use the squad leader first of all, B, and I'm going to bring in a scout and a rifleman, because I want to get them to be able to get moving forward. So that's him done. I'm not inspiring anybody. Can't inspire anyone there anyway. Then we've got a platoon sergeant. I'm going to get him to command. So I'll bring out 2 more. So we've got 2 riflemen, and the third one is another rifleman from B. So that's the platoon sergeant done. So, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to use the rifleman A first of all to move this guy forward into this scouted area, and then I'm going to use, he can't go any further, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use him to attack the German gunners. I need to get them down and out. So 1, 2, 3, 6 plus 4 is 10, so we need a 10 or 0 on our dice. A 3, no, he hasn't done anything. And our rifleman B, I'm going to start making him move out as well. I want to get them as far down the board as they can. So that ends the first turn. Second turn then, so 1, 2, 3 for the Americans, and then 1, 2, 3 for the Germans. They've run out of cards, so let's get a quick shuffle. See what happens with their initiative. So we pull their initiative first of all. It's a 5, it's a rifleman. Pull the Americans' initiative, it's a 6, it's a scout. So the Americans take the initiative this turn. So let's just see what we've got. We've got a scout, a rifleman and fog of war. Right, we need these scouts to get moving forward. I've got to get them down, so I'm going to ignore that fog of war card because I'm using the scout 2 scout, and he's going to go 1, 2 because at least over here we've got some protection. So we're going to put that down. So that means we take a fog of war card because we put down that thing, and that's the scout. And then we've got rifleman B over there. He can't move forward, but he can fire at those gunners, and it's going to be the same again, so it's a 10 up. 5, no, it's a miss. Not a great start, but they're doing something at least. Now the Germans over here, we've got riflemen, fog of war and machine gunners. Can't get rid of the fog of war. Rifleman can't move, so at least he can fire though. So I'll tell you, he's going to fire at rifleman A over here. So we're 1, 2, 3 away. He provides no cover, but he's on a 4, so that's going to give us a 7. That's a hit. So we check their deck for a Rifleman A. They don't have a deck because they've used it up. So we go to the discard pile, find a Rifleman A out of here. There's the first one. That is Robert Denton, has taken a hit. So he's out of the game and dead. And that was a German rifleman, obviously a sniper. I'm going to use the machine guns attack, not their suppress for this. I want to try to wipe out these as quick as possible. So again, 1, 2, 3, 7 up. 1 and a 5, so no effect. If I'd have rolled a couple more for the suppression and I would have hit, then they would have been suppressed. Alright, end of that turn. We're moving through this fast. So we've got 1, 2, 3 cards for the Germans. The Americans here. I'm going to need to shuffle up. So let's just get that a quick old shuffle. And they then get 1, 2 cards. Their initiative is a Fog of War card. German initiative is a Fog of War card. So the Americans had the initiative last turn, so they retain it. So they get it first this turn. So okay, that's looking a bit more likely, isn't it? So we've got a scout, and a squad leader. We want to get these scouts out, don't we? So I'm going to use Scout A to go 1, 2. I know that's just collecting Fog of War cards, but I can at least get rid of them, and I'm making a path for our rifleman to get down as well. Is it worthwhile inspiring him or bolstering? No, I'm going to bolster actually. So getting rid of that scout. So I'm going to bolster with the squad leader A. Get a couple of riflemen in because they're starting to take hits. So I want to get them strengthened. And then we've got over there Rifleman B. He can't shift. Oh no, Scout B. Sorry. I'm going to go 1, 2. I'm going to go for a pincer attack on this. I'm going to put him in. And I know I'm collecting Fog of War cards, but I just want to get as far forward as quick because the Germans seem to be a little bit bogged down at this point in this corner here, which is not good for them. Anyway, so it's the Germans' turn. So we have a machine gunner, a squad leader and a scout. This is what they wanted, I guess. Let's have a think about this. Right, scouts, I want to be able to move the riflemen in to stop these attacks somewhere, don't I? So what I'm going to do with the scouts is I'm going to actually move them in here. So that's there, so we put that on. That gives them a Fog of War card. So I'd say that, stick that into the discard pile. And that was a scout, that's all he's doing, he's just going to move. And then we've got machine gunners there, they're going to stay where they are. But I've got the squad leader as well, so what I'm going to do is, that rifleman's already been taking hits, so I'm going to keep firing at him with that machine gun and then inspire him to fire again. So we're 7 ups, so that's a 7, so that's a hit. So the Americans are going to find a Rifleman A out of there. So there's one guy, who is it, Richard Johnson, has just joined the platoon, has just been shot. And then we've got another shot from the Inspire. That's an 8 and a 1, so that's another hit. So again we go through. So Paul Miller, these guys have just joined the squad and they've been taken out by that machine gunner. They're stuck in that field, unfortunately for them. So the Germans are really holding them at bay on this one, as has happened in the previous games that I've played of it. Anyway, next turn. So there are 3 cards for the Americans, 1, 2, 3 for the Germans. Got to shuffle the discard pile. I don't know if it's worthwhile starting to bolster these Germans, you know, but they're feeling the pinch at the moment from the Americans. What I really need is Scouts B to be able to get down, and then a Rifleman, and also perhaps an Inspire from the B squad leader. Right, so initiative 7 for the Germans, 5 for the Americans. So the Americans lose the initiative this turn, and it goes to the Germans. So we'll flip that back. So the Germans first, they have a Fog of War, platoon sergeant and a machine gunner. Right, I'm going to use command to pull out 2 cards. So a machine gunner, good, and a rifleman, good. So that's gone, that's a platoon sergeant done. Fog of War, can't get rid of it, so I'm just going to shift that out, put it in the discard pile. So we've got 2 machine gunners and a rifleman. I am going to keep plugging away, I think, at Rifleman A, because it's currently getting weaker and weaker, and we only need 7 up to hit on that. So the first machine gun, 3 and 3, that's a miss. So second machine gun, 6 and a 4, so that's a miss. They've obviously lost their chutzpah. And the last one is a rifleman, an 8, so he's hit. So we have to check the deck for the Americans. We've got a rifleman A in there. No, we don't. We check the discard pile. Rifleman, scouts, squad leader, scout, fog of war, fog of war. Then we check the deck. Fog of war, rifleman A. There we go. There's a rifleman A, and that is James Allen. So they are holding on, but with grim determination at the moment. I think if they take another hit, then they will be off. And then it's the Americans anyway. Alright, we've got platoon sergeant, squad leader and a rifleman. I can't remember if I shuffled the deck or not. I think I did. I'll just do it anyway. There we go, just make sure it is shuffled. So we got platoon sergeant, squad leader and a rifleman. What I really need is scouts. So I'm going to use the platoon sergeant to... there's probably no scouts in there though, to be honest. He's going to bolster. I'm going to pull a scout out and 2 riflemen out of B. So that's what the platoon sergeant's doing. Then I've got the squad leader. He's going to move the riflemen are going to move forward, and then they are going to fire those machine gunners. So we are now 1, 2, 5, 9 away. So we need 9s and 10s because I'm using the Inspire on the squad leader. 7. No, nothing. Miss. But at least we're pushing forward slightly. So next turn, we've got 1, 2, 3 cards for the Americans, and their initiative is 5. 1, 2, 3 for the Germans. Their initiative is 6. So the Germans hold the initiative. Fortunately for the Americans. So let's see what happens in this. We've got fog of war, machine gunners, and rifles. We're going to get rid of that fog of war because I can't get rid of it anyway with these 2 guys. Rifles. I'll tell you what, I'm going to fire the rifles at the rifleman A. Let's see, 7 up, 6, it's a miss, and then I'm going to use the machine gunners again to fire at those rifles. 7 up, a 3 and a 4, no, that's a miss. So nothing there, pretty useless. Hey, you never know, this could be close. Maybe not. We've got fog of war and a scout B. But I need this scout to get in here so we can at least try and control that. So at least he's down there now. So he didn't get rid of the fog of war cards, but we take another fog of war card because we put that control marker down, and then we move on to our next turn. Let's get the American cards. So what they're looking for now is they need, if they can get a squad leader and their rifleman in combination here, that will be pretty perfect. If they get the initiative, a squad leader and a rifleman, they can get into that area that the scouts are in and capture it. The Germans obviously are going to try to stop that. I'll probably try to move the rifleman in to stop the Americans from controlling that area. Well, that's their mix. So 1, 2, 3. Let's have a look for the Germans. We've got 2 there, so I'm going to just give these a mix. The thing I kind of not started doing yet really is hunkering down to thin out the cards, to thin out the deck. It's something I probably should do more of. But anyway, there we go. German initiative is 6. American initiative is 6. So the Germans hold the initiative because they had it last turn. So let's... Oh dear, fog of war and rifleman. Unfortunately they can't move the rifleman to where I wanted him to go, so he's going to stay here, and I'm going to keep plugging away at that rifleman A of the Americans up there. So 7 up, a 1, no, that's a miss. Could have fired at rifleman B I suppose, but I don't think it'd do a great deal. So anyway, the Americans, we've got what we don't need. Rifleman B, and Fog of War, and Squad Leader. Okay, Squad Leader A, he can't do anything for the Rifleman, so all I can do with him is bolster. So at least he can draw in 2 new cards. So I'm going to take a Scout and a Rifleman just to fill out the cards, give him more to do. We ignore the Fog of War. Then Rifleman B, he is going to move into this position to get ready to hopefully take that church if he can get a chance. So that's the end of that turn. So we've got 1, 2, 3 for the Americans, 1, 2, 3 for the Germans. German initiative now is 7, American initiative is 1. It's a Fog of War card, a Squad Leader. So the Germans, let's see what they do. 2 machine gunners and a Fog of War. Right, so ignore the Fog of War, and they are going to start lamping Rifleman B because he's too close for comfort. So he is 1 away. That's got a 1 defence, so that's 2. He's got a defence of 4, so that takes them up to 6. 6 up, and we're shooting at them. So 2 and a 4, that's a miss. And a 10 and a 9, that is 2 hit. Well, that's 2 hits. So we check their hand for a Rifleman B. Yes, there's a Rifleman B, so he's out. That is Brett Gilbert. He's been taken out. But that's the 2 machine gunners. And the Americans. So over to the Germans. So the Americans, we've got Fog of War and a platoon sergeant. I'm going to try to command because he wants to pull out a couple of cards to see what we can get. So we've got A Scout and B Scout. Not perfect, but useful still. So that's the sergeant done. I think A Scout is going to get rid of that Fog of War card. So we'll take that out of the game, and that means they draw a new card. Oh, it's a Fog of War card anyway. So do I draw another card with this Scout, William Richardson? Or do I use him to attack the gunners? I'm going to draw another card because it might be a Rifleman. So we get rid of the Fog of War card and draw out a new card, and that is Rifleman B. That is perfect, and he is going to control that and win the game for the Americans. I can't believe that he's actually done that. Wow. As I said before, in other games, I've tried this twice before, and both times the Americans have literally been stopped around here, either with the suppression from the machine gunners, or they've lost all of their riflemen in the attack. So, well, I'm sure that you can do it. You can actually you can win this game. It's not completely unbalanced. Out of 3 games, one win for the Americans. So excellent. And that again just shows you how quickly this game plays. That lasted about 20 minutes. Obviously, if you've got 2 players, think of it a little bit longer, maybe half an hour to an hour, while you're thinking of moves and things. That's just me playing it as I'm going along, because I kind of already knew what I was going to do, you know. But I think the pincer attack here is a good one, because although the Germans have got quite a dense hand, really, because they're all squad A, so you can do quite a lot with everything. You can't really spread them out until you get these scouts out to be able to move the riflemen out. Otherwise the rifles are all stuck in here, as these were. The plan was to get these guys into the church and just at least hold, you know, stop them from being able to flip their scout over. Because if you've got an active enemy unit in the square that you're trying to control, you can't actually control it. So the Americans would have had to fight those off. And that was kind of what I was planning to do, but it just didn't come to fruition. Because I was hoping to have got rid of Rifleman A section over there quicker. Let's see, would they have done it? Well, I don't know. I don't think there's any more Rifleman A in here. I think they've all been killed, apart from the last. Oh no, there's one more. So they would have taken 2 more hits. But the machine gunners, as you remember, shot quite a few times and didn't actually take them out at all. So anyway, all in all, a great game, another great game. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe, check out the Patreon, check out the Ko-fi. There'll be more Undaunted Normandy coming at some point in the future. And keep tuned, and stay tuned, should I say, for more videos from Storm of Steel. Thank you very much.